It's story time.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
What's up, y'all? Welcome to my first story time. I just want to say that this is going to be very entertaining. It's going to be something y'all going to laugh at, have a good time with. It's also to bring awareness to something very, very serious. So, with that being said, man, let's get into the video. Alright, so look, this is the story time of how I caught my first and only STD / STI, which was chlamydia. And I also want to say that outside of me being affected by this, there was 2 other people that got affected by it. But for obvious reasons, I'm not going to say their name. But what I will do is I'll say person number 1 and like person number 2, you know what I'm saying? Just to keep the names out of it. So keep that in mind as well. Alright, so look, I'm going to start off with person number 1, how I met them, you know, how everything transpired, all that good stuff. Also, I want to say that before I get into it, I'm gonna try to remember everything that happened. I might leave some stuff out because I probably end up forgetting about it, but I'm gonna try my best to like remember everything. This happened at 17. I'm 27 now, so it's kind of like I might remember a good amount of it, but I might forget some parts. So just letting y'all know up front. All right, so look, person number 1, how we met. Before I met person number 1, I actually met their cousin. And how I met their cousin was like this. Pretty much how I met person number 1's cousin was through her sister. Because her sister was cool with my cousin at the time. Like me and him used to like hang out and do stuff and all that. And one day I guess she hit him up and was like, her and her cousin was trying to do something. So he told me, he was like, hey, you wanna go hang out with him or whatever? I said, yeah, that's cool. So we go to their house and pick them up or whatever. And I'm trying to remember. We went to some place at first. I forgot where we went to at first, but I think we ended up going to Shoe Carnival right after that. And when we got to Shoe Carnival, me and person number 1's cousin decided to stay in the car or whatever, and they went in the Shoe Carnival to do their thing. And I think they were trying to be funny when they got the car. They was like, y'all don't do nothing here. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So they go into the store, right? So pretty much when they go into the store, I'm gonna tell y'all when we first got there. So when we first got there, I was sitting on one side of the back seat and old girl sitting on the other side of the back seat. So we was like separated basically. So when we got there, we were still separated. But I was thinking, man, I'm stuck in the car with her. I'm like, let me go ahead and make my move, right? So I scoot on over. I do what I do. And, you know, I do a little touch, you know what I'm saying? I do a little kissy on the neck, you know what I'm saying? I lift the shirt up. I know what I did. And mind you, the car had no tints. So you could see straight through it. Crazy. And I know if I really wanted to, I could have got a little, yeah. But yeah, so that happened and I actually stopped before they even came back out. And he was like, did y'all do anything? I'm like, nah, we didn't do nothing, we good. So, yeah, that's how I met her cousin. That's what happened the first time. But I mean, after that, I think I got her cousin's number, but we didn't really talk like that after that. So that's the end of that one. All right, so let's get into how I met person number 1. So I met person number 1 through her sister as well. I think one day her sister hit my cousin again, was like, she wanted to hang out or something like that, and I guess she wanted to bring her sister along, so my cousin brought me along again. Y'all know what it is. So he brought me along, and this is when I first met person number 1. We all hung out, did something, and I think after that, I ended up getting her phone number and stuff like that. And yeah, I can't remember exactly what all we did. It was so long ago, but I do remember hanging out with her and spending time with her first time. We didn't do nothing like that, but I did end up getting her number afterwards. But what's so crazy is that y'all remember when I did something with her cousin earlier? I told y'all. Tell me why she asked me a question. She was like, because she knew me and her hung out apparently before. So she was like, did you ever mess with my cousin? I'm like, cousin? And then she said her name. I said, oh, her? I'm like, nah, I ain't do that. Yeah, no, I did. Don't tell me about it. But yeah, so based off of that alone, I probably should have messed with her anyway, because I did mess with her cousin. I did lie to her, but I wasn't right back then, so I can't do nothing about it. It is what it is. Anyways, let me go and fast forward. So me and person number one get to talking and stuff. We get to hang out and all that. And at some point in time, we end up being boyfriend and girlfriend, right? So, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, new boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. And we was together for a little minute too. And then I think after a while we started like, I think we broke up or something like that. But we used to like messing around and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a little bit of toxicity going on, as I like to call it. But yeah, that's how I met person number one. That's how all that stuff transpired. So I want to talk about person number two, how I met them. So person number two, I met her at school. It was high school at the time. This was like sophomore year. This was when she came into school one day like all dolled up and stuff, right? Because at first it was like, I wouldn't say she was ugly, not to me, but she never looked like the way she did when she first came to that cafeteria that one day. I was like, dang. So, you know, your boy, I had to go run my game real quick and say what's up to her, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, we started getting close. I ended up making her my girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? I just remembered how I talked to person number two in the cafeteria that day. So if I remember correctly, I think she was talking to a few people when she first got in there or whatever. She was sitting somewhere. And I walked up to her to give her a hug or whatever. I gave her one of them close hugs too, but I'm talking to like, hold on, I'm trying to think. Like, you know, down there, her thing down there, my thing down there was like this, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I forgot exactly what I said, but I was like, you gonna stop playing me or something like that. And after that, man, it just took off, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so look, after I making my girlfriend or whatever, we was together for a while. And you know, everything was going good or whatever. And after a while, me and her broke up. And then we was kind of like on and off afterwards. Again, on that toxic type of time, you know what I'm saying? So me and her just kept like messing around on and off, back and forth. And I think at that time I was still talking to person number one. Not like that, but she was still like kind of around, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's that for person number two. Alright, so look, let's get into the nitty gritty, y'all. Check it out. So I think at this time I was messing with person number one still, and I think two, I can't remember exactly, but I know one day person number one hit me up. She was like, what you doing? I said, think how it went. She was like, what you doing? I was like, I'm chilling at the house. So she wanted me to come over, whatever, right? And I think she said she wanted to talk or something like that. I can't remember. So I go over there, right, to pull up and talk to her or whatever. We sit in the car, and you know, one thing led to another, and we end up, you know, making it do what it do. So what was so crazy about this time was like, this wasn't my first time going raw, you know what I'm saying, with her. But I don't know, when I did it this time to her, it just felt weird, like something was wrong. Now I think I'm tripping because I'm like, okay, well, I did it to her before. I ain't never like had any issues or whatever. And it was a while, I think, since I, you know, last did it with her. So I'm thinking in my head like, okay, maybe I'm tweaking because, you know, it's been a while, so maybe I'm just not used to it, I guess. So I was like, whatever. So I went ahead about my business and, you know, kept going, and yeah. So this is where it gets even crazier, right? So person number two, I think I ended up going over our house that same week. So I can't remember exactly like how many days it was, but I think it was like the same week I got done doing the person number one, which is crazy about person number one because if I'm not mistaken, my parents ain't want me going back over there where she stayed because she stayed in a little rough spot or whatever. So that's crazy how you went back over there. Anyways, so I think that same week I went to person number two's house and did it to her. Raw dog, you know what I'm saying? No cares in the world, right? So I went over her house, did to do with her raw dog or whatever. And yeah, that's it for that one. But yeah. So fast forward, not too long after that. This is when GTA 5 first came out. Y'all remember when it first came out? This was in 2013. I remember correctly. I forgot who bought it. Either my pops bought it or my sister bought it. Somebody bought it. And I was playing the game. I think it was like sometime after school. We got out or whatever. I was just playing the game or whatever. And I'm on the first mission. Y'all know the first mission. Y'all robbed that bank or whatever. Like the very first one, as soon as the game loaded up. That very first mission. Yeah, I was playing that. And I'm sitting there having a good grand old time, right? So then, I think this is at the time where I didn't hear from person number one. I think after the last time we did it. So I think she hit me up. Yeah, she called me actually. She called me while I was playing the game. I'm like, what the hell she called me for? Cause like I ain't talked to her since that day we did it, right? So she called me and she like, hey, what's up? I said, nothing at the house, chilling, what's up? She was like, oh, okay. Are you busy? And I'm like, I mean, I'm playing a game, but nah, not for real. So then she was like, are you alone? I'm looking like, what you mean, am I alone? So this is why I get nervous. I'm like, what you mean, am I alone? What did I do wrong? So now I'm nervous. I'm like, oh, did I get her pregnant or something? But I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm alone. Technically, my people's upstairs, but you know I'm downstairs, so can't nobody hear me. Then I'm by myself. She was like, "Oh, okay." She wanted to talk about something really important that she told me. So I'm like, "Damn, I got her pregnant." So I'm just tripping out, right? I'm like, "Oh my God." So she's like, "I went to the clinic, and if I remember correctly, she told me she went to the clinic, and she was like, I went there 3 weeks ago." So I'm like, "What?" And then she was like, I just got my results back from the clinic. I'm like, 3 weeks, just got your results back. I'm like, something ain't right. So anyways, she ended up telling me that she got her results back and she was like, she had chlamydia and that I might have it too. I'm like, no, you did not. When I tell y'all, I cussed her out, y'all. Y'all should have heard me. I was like, what the you mean you got it? I said, that means I got it, you dumb mother. You know, just went off and cussed and called her a couple B words, all that stuff, man. I was mad. Like, so after she tells me that horrible news, I cut the game off so fast. I'm like, I don't even want to play no more. I'm so mad. Then she's like, well, my mom's gonna go to the whatchamacallit against the pills. She can get some for you too, something like that. So I'm like, all right, man, let me just go ahead and do what I gotta do. I know I got it at this point pretty much because it went raw. So I wasn't tripping that day when I did that. Anywho, so I leave the house. I zoom over there, right? And I'm sitting there waiting with her. And she was telling me, yo, she's sorry. And when she was on the phone, she was like, I'm really sorry and all this other stuff. I think she said she might have got it from her ex or something. I don't know. Anyways, I get over her, I'm panicking, I'm tripping. She was like, I'm sorry. I'm just over here steaming. Livid, right? So I'm sitting there waiting for her mom to get back. I'm not really trying to hear nothing she's saying. So time goes on and her mama not showing up. I'm like, shit, I gotta go back home at some point. Because for me, I think at that time, I had to be back home by a certain time. So I'm like, well, I can't sit here all fucking night. Like, I got to go, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, whatever, I'll figure it out. I gotta go, whatever. So I get home, right? And as soon as I get home, I don't know what it was, because at first I wasn't feeling nothing. But after I left her house and got home, I just still started feeling everything. Like I was burning. When I tell you I was on fire, I'm like, what is that? Because it felt weird down like fire, like somebody lit like a match in my pants or something like that and started a fire down. I'm like, oh no, I couldn't even think straight. I'm like, oh my God. I had tears in my eyes, man. My eyes were starting to water up and stuff. I'm like, man, what's wrong with me? And that's how I knew I really had it, because I'm like, bruh. I'm like, I just got told this today, and all of a sudden, all these symptoms start coming up. So I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. So that happened, and man, I was just tripping out. Let me tell you, it was so bad for me, and I was so stupid back then. I was on fire so bad back then, right? I literally sat there, because we had a box fan in the basement, and I literally took the box fan, put that bad boy on high, whipped my stuff out, you know what I'm saying, and just stood in front of the fan like that was gonna make it any better. Let me show y'all what I did. Hold on, let me show y'all. Like, look, so this the fan, right? So I'm like this, and I crank it on high or whatever, and then just whip it out like this, trying to, you know what I'm saying, make it cool down or whatever. Cause I'm thinking it's gonna work. I ain't got nothing else at this point. Boy, it ain't do nothing. I was still on fire. I was like, yeah, that's a wrap. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. I tried to stand in front of the fan. That thing was cold too, but it ain't do nothing for me. So I was like, yeah, I screwed up. But when I tell y'all, man, I had to face the music until person number 2, what I just did, that's what really messed me up. I'm like, bro, if I got it from you, I know damn well I'll give it to her. So now I gotta try to come up with like how I'm gonna tell her, right? So I text person number 2, and I was like, are you busy right now? So I hit her like the same thing. She's like, nah. I was like, oh, okay, well, I need to talk to you on the phone or whatever. So at some point, me and her ended up getting on the phone, and it was like the longest, most drawn out conversation I ever had, bro. Like the scariest one. So I told her, I was like, you sure you're not busy? She's like, nah, I'm not busy. You can talk right now? She's like, yeah, I talk. I said, cool. So I went down. I'm like, man, listen. I can't remember what I told her. I think I told her like somebody I was messing around with got tested or whatever, and I was messing around with them recently, something like that. And the test results came back as they had chlamydia, and it was like, I probably got it, which if I probably have it, you probably have it too. So once I told her that, she was like, what the you mean, and blah blah blah, and cussed me out and said all kind of stuff. I can't remember what she said. I know she went off on me really bad though. So it was terrible, man. So I think after that, we just got off the phone. We didn't even talk, and she ended up getting tested eventually, finding out she had it. But when I tell y'all, I felt so bad, bro, and like I had to go to school the next day feeling this way. So I think this was the next day, but I had to go to school, and this is how I knew something was wrong. So I had to use the bathroom really bad at school, right? So I go to the boys' bathroom or whatever, and I try to go use it. And when I try to go use it, don't nothing come out. I'm like, because it felt like something wanted to come out, but it didn't. So I'm like, what the hell? So then something finally came out. Oh, it wasn't no pee. It was white discharge. I said, oh, hell no. When I tell you, and I was still burning too. So when I tell you, I called my mama so quick. I was like, mama, you need to come get me now. Take me to the doctor. I don't care what you gotta do. Take me today, like right now. So she came up there, went to me to the doctor. I told the doctor what was going on with my symptoms and stuff like that. She's like, yeah, you definitely got it. But I still had to get tested and everything. Long story short, she ended up giving me a prescription somewhere. Ended up getting it, and it was like these pills or whatever. And I took them, and when I tell y'all, I had the worst diarrhea in the world. Like, bro, I never want to catch anything again, like ever. That was terrible. Like, I was on that toilet for 2 days straight, just letting it out, cleaning the system, right? So, fast forward, after I got done taking the medicine, whatever, they came back and said, I definitely got it. I'm like, clearly. So I had to get retested again, and I was good after that. But yeah, man. Pretty much after that, man. I mean, I didn't really talk to person number 1 anymore. I was still talking to person number 2 a little bit, I think. But after all that, it really wasn't the same anymore. But yeah. So that's pretty much it for the story time. I'm glad y'all watched it. It was kind of long today, but I think it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to make this video, man, to entertain y'all, bring awareness to this stuff, because a lot of people don't talk about the sides of going raw. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people talk about it like, oh, I don't want to get her pregnant or something like that, or they don't want to end up pregnant. When the reality is that you got to worry about pregnancy and you got to worry about, you know, catching STDs, because you can end up catching something you can't get rid of. You know what I'm saying? And that could be my situation where, oh, girl could have gave me something I couldn't get rid of, right? Then I'll be telling a whole nother story time. But I just want to say, man, that you cannot pull off from STDs. You can pull off from, you know, preventing pregnancy, but you ain't pulling off from STD though. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say that real quick, and I just want to say that I have no hard feelings towards person number 1. Like, if I seen her today or seen her sometime in the future, you know, I'd say hi and bye to her. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be like evil to her, nothing like that. Even with person number 2, even though it was my fault technically, I seen her last year and I said something to her. She was cool, whatever. But yeah, I think I would have no ill will towards person number 1. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I got more videos coming. I'm gonna try to make more story times. Turn on the little post notification bell too, so y'all can get my posts. Y'all be notified about it. It's one thing to subscribe, but it's nothing like click the little bells, and then you know every last video I make, it pops up. But yeah, man, until next time.